everybody, this is Brooke Fagel from Palm Springs Dog Training with Brooke's Weekly Treat, and today we're going to talk about loose leash walking. Such an important topic that everybody has issues with, and there's a couple of tips that I'm going to help you with today that are going to make your walk with your dog much more enjoyable.
Loose leash walking is super important to teach your dog because A, it really focuses on teaching them impulse control, B, it reminds them that there's somebody on the other end of the leash, and C, it also gives you control over your dog when you're in a busy environment. Outside, when they see other dogs, when they see other people, no matter what's going on, when you teach your dog to walk on a loose leash, you have complete control over your dog. We want to be able to enjoy our walks just as much as the dogs. After all, the walk is for both of us. One of the favorite tools that I like to use with not only all of my dogs, but all of the dogs that I work with is what's called a front clipping harness. When you have a front clipping harness, you have complete control over your dog as this attaches to their chest, not their back, which means if they walk forwards, if they start pulling me forwards, especially for bigger dogs, it gives me complete control over them because what does it do? It turns them around. And funny enough, that's exactly what I teach dogs to do. I teach them to turn around and look towards me when they start pulling on a leash. So this just gives me a little extra control over the dog that's a little bit harder to walk on a leash to make sure that I can help make things go a little bit smoother in the beginning.
Let's start training.
Loose leash walking can be broken down into 3 simple steps. Number 1, the stop and take a couple steps backwards.
If a dog pulls on a leash and he can get to that bush, I just taught my dog to pull me on a leash, and now he can get me to the bush because I reinforced him. So when he puts any pressure on his leash, I don't let him go forwards. So let's give this a try. So now Dreamy's pulling on a tight leash. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna, hey Dreamy, let's go. I'm gonna pat my leg, pat my leg, pat my leg until he can even attempt to think, there we go, that I exist. Now he's on a loose leash, and now we're gonna go forwards again. Good job. Up, here we go. Pulling again on the leash. I'm gonna stop right there in my tracks, let Dreamy bounce back towards me, and now we're gonna take a couple steps forwards again.
Number 2, reverse direction walk.
So when your dog is pulling on a leash and is getting as stimulated as Dreamy is, because there's a bunch of dogs over there, I have a couple of options. My options are either I can keep going forwards and let him get more and more and more stimulated, or I can really move forward with the solution. I can immediately take him in the opposite direction.
And number 3, the rewarding part of the walk.
Dreamy's directly next to me. I'm gonna click him and reward him for staying next to me. And now when I give a treat, I'm gonna give him a treat right here behind my back leg.
I wanna make sure that I click them when they're in that exact position, walking directly next to me.
I'm not gonna give it to him here because this is the position where they're getting ready to walk directly in front of me.
One of the things that I do to help make this super successful is I reward them for every couple of steps.
We're gonna take a couple more steps. I'm gonna make sure I can reinforce him. Awesome. Give him a treat right behind my leg.
If they can maintain being on a loose leash, then reward goes step, click, reward, step, click, reward. If your dog can't walk on a loose leash right outside of your house, how can you expect them to walk around the block on a loose leash? So one of the things that I've always done to start off with my dogs or anybody that I work with is start inside, start in a really low distraction environment, because remember, we are working with dogs whose senses are so stimulated that once they get outside, it becomes an entirely different environment for them. So we want to set them up for success. Work your way outside, towards your yard, on your driveway, and even start the reverse direction going back and forth in front of your house. It gives dogs an opportunity to learn and to understand what it is that we're trying to teach them. Loose leash walking is not an easy task for our dogs to learn or for us as well. So make it successful, make it a great training opportunity, and don't forget to reward every time that they're on that loose leash. That wraps up this week's episode of Brooke's Weekly Treat. 3 major tips on loose leash walking. Such an important tool that we all want to make sure that we know how to do with our dogs. Don't forget to like and subscribe as new shows come out every single Wednesday at 12 noon. Bye.